It's another special moment with Sunday Special on Nta Calabar, the station for the people. We are here again with our potpourri of stories to your delight, and on a lineup are heartwarming stories from across the length and breadth of the country. I am your guide tonight, Maureen John. I will be right back after this time out. Welcome back to Sunday Special. To ensure the provision of safe, quality and accessible blood and blood products for transfusion to patients in the country, there is an urgent need for a uniform regulatory standard. This is the thrust of the meeting of expert committee on the development of the standard for blood safety development in Nigeria. Basi Ita Ibang tells us more.
In as much as blood is life, blood can equally be very dangerous and hazardous products to the body. Unsafe blood kills. This were the words of the National Coordinator of National Blood Transfusion Services, who also stressed the need for blood safety regulations in the country.
Is to ensure that appropriate guidelines are put in place to guide all blood establishments to ensure the provision of safe, quality and accessible blood and blood products for Nigerians.
We have provided now the document that will define the minimum below which any operator will be found liable and can face the full wrath of the law.
The expert committee consists of all national health regulatory bodies, health professional associations, and civil societies. Members of the committee share their expertise on the guidelines for the regulations.
We have seen a rise in renal transplant and dialysis, and then bone marrow transplant. So these therapies usually depend significantly on blood transfusion. We therefore need to provide guidelines for the safety and accessibility of such commodity to those that require it.
Medical practitioners, health professionals, and business entities interested in establishing blood entities were advised to ensure compliance to the guidelines. Basi Taipan, NTA News.
The Buhari Media Organization has celebrated Nigeria's ranking as the fourth best in the world in the management and containment of the COVID-19 pandemic. The group says the World Health Organization acclaim and ranking of Nigeria as having come tops among the 10 countries that were about to handle the multifaceted negative impact of the pandemic did not come to it as a surprise, considering that President Muhammadu Buhari had, at the outbreak of the pandemic in early 2020, taken up the gauntlet and showed quality leadership. In a statement signed by its chairman Niyi Akinsiju and Secretary Kasidi Madwike, Buhari Media Organization notes that as a mark of President Buhari's determination to safeguard the lives of Nigerians and residents alike during the pandemic, he set up a standing committee, Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, chaired by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, who, along with other cabinet members and other stakeholders, embarked on a daily appraisal and briefing of the populace about the measures put in place to contain the pandemic. This team worked tirelessly with the National Center for Disease Control, NCDC, in collaboration with international agencies towards ensuring that negative impacts or effects of the disease was reduced to the barest minimum. Hence, Nigeria records one of the lowest infection and fatality figures in the world. The group also recalled that the World Health Organization had on many occasions commended the federal governments of Nigeria for its proactive response and successful completion of the first phase of the COVID-19 vaccine rollout with the vaccination of the frontline workers and other priority groups at high risk of the pandemic. And here comes a story They grew up together and had beautiful plans for their future. But unknowingly to them, fate had another plan for their destinies, and that resulted to a tragic end of their friendship, with one killing the other. What could have made such a blossoming relationship turn sour all of a sudden? That explanation is what Ifeyinwa Anikwa, who allegedly killed her 43-year-old friend in Abakaliki, is finding difficult to give to the police in Ebonyi State. Ijoma Peter Mwante is a guide.
It was just like every other normal day when Ifeyinwa Anikwa decided to pay a visit to her childhood friend Ifeoma Nwankwo at number 3 Jos Street, Abakaliki, perhaps to have a good time with her, as had always been the case. While in their usual playful mood, Ifeyinwa allegedly pushed Ifeoma, but later realized that it was a joke taken too far when she saw her lying lifeless on the floor. Although Ifeoma, who was not married but left behind a male child of 4 years, is no longer alive to say exactly what happened, the 78-year-old father, who on sighting the Newsline crew fought hard to hold back tears, said Ifeoma's death is a big blow to the family as she was their breadwinner.
Two of them were friends. She came to Ifeoma's place and sat on her bed. After a while, they said she went and urinated. As she was urinating, Ifeoma's child went and laid on the same bed. She came out from the bathroom and brought the child to the floor. After some time again, she entered the bathroom to urinate for the second time, which made Ifeoma's child go back to the bed. This made them to start dragging. In the process, Ifeoma hit her head on the ground and died.
Neighbors who are still gripped with shock over the incident attested to the fact that the two friends were like sisters and hardly quarreled.
This is purely the work of the devil. But since two of them were friends, it is my opinion that the two families should resolve amicably.
The time I come back from market, I saw the woman. They carried the woman go to the hospital. From there, the woman died.
So what happened to Ife's snacks? In fact, it was more than terrible. But we can't question God and we can't do anything.
Efforts made to speak with the suspect, who the police public relations officer, Ebonyi State Police Command, Lovett Oda, said has been remanded for prosecution, did not yield positive results.
She was arrested and arraigned in court of law. She is already in awaiting trial. Yes, the law interpreters will interpret the law to her.
I'm not happy, but I can't help it. It has happened. And that's also it has happened. Nothing I can do. I will ask it to anybody to give me somebody like my daughter. So I can't do anything. Okay, as of now, I can say she's the mother and all of the family.
If only the duo had a premonition of what awaited them on the 23rd day of July 2021, maybe they would have taken precautions. But then, what is meant to be will always find its way, many believe.
Victims of Thursday's morning flood in Chalidi, Committee of Garfield, local government area in Bauchi State, are still counting their losses. Mohammed Ibn Mohammed reports that over 2,000 houses, shops and farmlands were affected by the flood.
They have been displaced by flood waters and they have fled. Hundreds of people living in Chalidi Primary School in Kirfi local government area of Bauchi State, all victims of flood caused by seasonal rains. The flood has hit many homes and destroyed the livelihood of many, with an estimate of over 100 hectares of farmlands affected. Governor Bala Muhammad has come to assess the damage firsthand.
5,000 farmlands have been destroyed and property that cannot be computed have been destroyed. Those that are building on the flood drain will be advised not to do that. Because if you do that, the rivers or the tributaries or the plain will always find its course.
He says government will provide the victims with immediate relief items while the State Emergency Management Agency takes stock of the damages caused by the flood. In Bauchi, Mahmoud Ibn Muhammad, NTA News.
You are watching news reaching you from the studio of Nta Calabar. You can watch this newscast on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Nta Calabar. We'll take a break and Sunday Special continues shortly.
As news breaks from the north, south, east and west of Nigeria, we bring it to you. News from the length and breadth of Cross River State is sent to you via this channel.
With movers and shakers in various spheres of influence talking to us, we carve a niche and showcase our experience in broadcasting, because it's Nta Calabar before others.
You can't get this anywhere else. It's only here on Nta Calabar News, showing at this times 3 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and 7 p.m. every day. Nta Calabar News. Our experience counts.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has arrested a woman with 100 wraps of heroin and 2 parcels of same substance at the departure hall of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos. In a statement by the agency, the suspect was arrested on Tuesday, 3rd August 2021 during an outward clearance of passengers on Qatar Airways flight to Florentine, Italy. The drugs found on her way concealed in 5 containers of hair relaxer cream. In the same vein, the agency intercepted a United Kingdom-bound consignment of illicit drugs at the Nako export shed of the airport, containing a total weight of 121.25 kilograms of illicit substances to include cocaine, heroin, and cannabis sativa. Meanwhile, in continuation of the nationwide offensive action against drug traffickers, the agency has intercepted 4.25 kilograms of skunk, 30 pinches of crack cocaine weighing 87 grams, 6 sachets of Arizona weighing 265 grams, 65.436 kilograms of diazepam, and 286.3 kilograms of cannabis, while 6 suspects were arrested in connection with the crime. And what was intended to be a pleasurable sightseeing became an inspiration to reflect on the painful history of slavery in Africa. From the White Castle of Black History in Cape Coast, Ghana, Onengie Fanface brings us a past that is also a present opportunity for future prosperity.
The Atlantic roars in constant tremor on the shores of Cape Coast, Ghana, one curious meeting place for sea and land. Above the shoreline stands the towering height of the Cape Coast Castle, a reminder of the bitter years of slavery on the continent.
Church services, slaves underneath.
Robert Morgan Mensah, tour guide at the castle, tells me that the depth of history buried in this castle, even through imagination, can break any human heart. It is both a fortress and a broken hope. Fortress for the colonialists, broken hope for the thousands of African slaves who went through it, never again to see their homes.
Having finished the slave trade,
The Europeans have gone after slave trade was over, they are colonizers. We need to maintain our heritage. This is why we brought it back to its original location, to educate every one of us here that before the coming of the Europeans, there was African traditional temple. Okay.
Plays back to me to get an understanding where we started from and where we are going as Africa.
Going down memory lane, the wickedness of the whites over the blacks is indescribable.
Investigation shows that Cape Coast Castle isn't just a collection of past pains. It is in fact an exemplar of economic opportunities in African history.
I think what we need to do is to invest more in tourism so that we can generate more traffic and so bring in more foreign investment and more resources into our various countries in the West African sub-region.
The scenery is beautiful as it is excruciating. Nestled on the Atlantic, Cape Coast Castle, from the years of slavery in Ghana to these days of reflections, overlooks the ocean to which it has considered many African dreams. And the sea? It roars in constant tremor on the shores of Cape Coast, Ghana. On Nta Fine Face, NTA News.
That Nigeria is indeed blessed with abundant talent is certainly not a doubt. This fact is manifest in recent discoveries of several scientific inventions by young Nigerians. A proof of this played out when a young man from Imo State was spotted flying a locally fabricated aircraft in a remote village. Loretta Arinze Egbim went in search of the boy, and believe me, what she found out is amazing.
When this video recently went viral, it caught the attention and admiration of those who came across it. For many, it was difficult to believe that a young man, 20 years of age, without a university education could fabricate and fly this aircraft. His name is Kenneth Akobundo from a Himembano local government area of Imo State. He completed his secondary education in 2018, and since his father could not afford his university education, he had to settle for this, including fabrication of this aircraft, which has caught global attention.
The engineering tips are all come from inspiration. When I sleep, I got some dreams. And when I wake up, in a dream, I meet so many engineers, especially foreign engineers. They taught me, they say, look at what you do, this is how you do it. So when I woke up, I noticed that was a dream. I have to practicalize according to what I saw in the dream. And obviously, that is how I have to keep upgrading. But I've not attended any technical college or institution or university, no. It's just self-taught.
He started fabrication of these prototypes at the age of 7, and here are some of his old products. While many are surprised at how he is able to come up with these fabrications, Kenneth says all materials used are locally sourced, including the engines used for the aircraft and other machines. This scooter bike, for instance, he says, takes him from his village in Imo State to as far as Aba in Abia State.
I got that inspiration when I was 7 years old, but I wasn't really serious about it. I was like looking forward to become a naval officer. I mean, engaging myself in seas. But when I grew up to 12, 13, I noticed that none of them is working off me. So I didn't take it more serious about the engineering. But it comes worse when I turned 17, 18. It's like I'm going crazy. I can't do anything without trying to figure out what I could invent out. And since 2018, I have to be passionately working. And that is how I come up with more ideas. I can be able to manufacture ultralight aircraft and most other inventions.
To say that the visit of the NTA took Kenneth by surprise is to say the least. as his neighbors and some leaders of his community came out to witness what they described as a dream come true.
From the commitment and interest shown, if well exposed, it will do Nigeria proud.
I pray that this country will look at the content of this young boy and see that we make this country proud.
God will locate him one day. And when I
came out today and saw cars everywhere, I knew that God has done it.
A white man can do many things with his brain. It's actually what I'm seeing from this boy.
For his parents, his talent did not take them by surprise as it runs in the family.
I believe that God transferred the talent of the family to him. I don't have money, and I'm a commercial transporter, driving for someone. Since the car developed faults, I told my son that he has to be patient.
From carton.
He started with the use of cartons. When I ask him what he is doing, he will ask me to leave him, that it is between him and his God.
Kenneth may be limited by resources, but his hope of having his dream actualized someday is rock solid.
Sometimes when I woke up, I notice I'm staying at home and trying. I feel bad. But sometimes I have to be happy because I'm alive doing some great things.
From Ehimembano local government area of Imo State, Lorita Rinzegwim, NTA News.
Prices of consumable goods, foodstuff, housing and many other items have continued to increase as the poses lots of concern to Nigerians who bemoan the rate of inflation into the country. Correspondent Banoya Chibon reports that business owners and consumers attribute the current trend to the COVID-19 pandemic and cost-push factors.
Food inflation is expected to continue with the rising trend due to the impact of the prevailing disruption of supply by the COVID-19 pandemic. Also, the sellers and buyers say the increase in transportation, among others, have made the price of foodstuff increase above the purchasing power of the ordinary Nigerian, whose income remains the same.
You should look out into that road. Some vehicles, if you tell them to come after buying your things, they can't come because of road. If the ones that they will come, they will charge you. They will charge you so much that you can't pay. After paying, you come and add your own price so that you can make small profits.
Yes, like I said, there is increase in price, 1,000 naira increase, and that can affect a normal man. At least even the grassroots, they will suffer it. 1,000 naira is big money.
Some buyers comment on the impact of the development.
Actually, what I discovered that all around, there have been increase in things. We buy something today, come the next day or 2 days after, you find out that there is an increase in the price of commodities.
Even I just say, let me come with my wife because she has been complaining that the money I give to her is not even enough. So I say, let me come with her and see what is happening in the market. So it's not easy.
I used to come to market, anytime I come to market, price of things always be high. Then when I get home, I will let my husband know, we as if that I'm lying or I'm keeping the money for my hair. So I said, okay, today that we must come to the market, two of us. That's why we bought things. It was like shouting, money that we can carry and buy 2 things, we use it for 1 thing. So that is it though. Thank God that he's here today.
Sellers and business owners complain of high taxes and appeal to the government to consider the plight of the common man in its policy direction.
Every day things get increasing. Even me that is selling here, it's very hard to please customer no matter how you try. Complain here and there, things are too cost every day. Example, you bought groundnut oil, 20 liters of groundnut oil, 14,500, but coming today, they've added extra 1,500 to make it 16,000. So it's too much. We cannot bear it anymore. The federal government should do something about it. People are dying slowly for hunger.
We too suffer. Like this pepper now, before we used to buy 5,000, but now 20,000 for small bag. Tomatoes was 7,000 now. 20,000 to 40,000. Everything oil now is 15,000, 20 liters. Things are hard now. So tell them, the government, to make something less for us so that we may live in peace.
We are living by the grace of God. If not God, we for don't die finish. Things are very, very expensive in the market. And it makes us, we the sellers, become a liar. Because when you buy today, it's just as if tomorrow don't increase more than what we expected. Shop rent now is 80,000 naira to 80,000 to 100,000 for shop rent. And the things, a bag of rice now is getting to 30,000 naira, which everybody is aware of.
With the prices of goods and services skyrocketing, especially staples, due to the cost push factors, when will this temporal suffering, as stated by government, be over? In Calabar, Nta Calabar, NTA News.
That's about the size of us on this special tonight. We do hope you had a true time. Do stay tuned and join the rest of our programs.